See, welcome guys back to my podcast. And now you have to realize some things about life. That when you're growing yourself, when you're trying to help yourself to grow, you have to understand life is going to come to you in some kind of direction. And now you have to realize that you have to always understand life. You have to be able to understand everything going on. And when you start to understand things about life, then things start to open up for you. And now you have to realize my role as a life coach is always to help people to grow. I realize that's what I do. I'm like a growth coach, and I help people's mindsets to just help them to unlock a better ability. I help to always seek for ways to live life for myself and others, but I also try to always grow myself in different ways. And now, because you have to realize about how everything is going on in my life, I'm always finding a new direction. I'm always understanding to never go backwards. I'm always living forwards. And when I live forwards in my life, I do things in a profound way. Because I have to realize there's always a way to grow. There's always a way to do things in life. And I must never feel sorry for myself because I realize my life is full of imagination. I can say my life is full of growth. I realize also my life is one of a kind. So I have to always understand that if I want to be unique, if I want to give ideas, if I want to grow myself in the best kind of way, I have to start giving more of myself. I realize, for example, if you look at homeless people on the street, why do you think they're homeless? I realize people who are homeless on the street have a financial problem. They're unable to keep the money with themselves without going a certain direction to make sure that they have more money in their pocket. And then you have to realize that if you go in the workplace or if you go through life talking to people or anything like that, you're always going to find your way. You're always going to find the best direction for you. But you have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to communicate. And the more you communicate, the more you're going to be in a better position for everything. So you have to realize that's why I do what I do. Because I understand it helps me grow personally. And because I grow myself in a good way, and because I grow myself in the best way possible every single day for myself, I always find even better ways to grow. And that's why I'm always living my life as much as I can. I'm always trying to benefit my life. I'm always trying to help myself to do something I've never done before. But you have to realize you have to communicate things into the planet. And when you start to communicate lots of aspects of life into the planet, you start growing yourself in a beautiful way. So every single day, just always grow yourself because you never know what's going to happen. Yes, and you have to realize if you're not growing yourself in the opportunity that you have, then you're not going to have much of a life because you have to realize those people who do grow are the ones who actually make something for themselves. They make a life for themselves. They make something come true for themselves. So you always have to stick to the true side of life. You have to understand you have to be honest with what you need. And if you ask people for it, if you ask enough people something that you need for, you understand, if you need something from life, you have to ask for it. And you have to realize that if you ask enough times, I promise you, someone will give you an opportunity. Someone will help you to either help you to make events or whatever it is. They will help you in some kind of way. They'll give you information. They have to give you information. So if you go around asking nightclubs or if you go around asking people to do seminars around them or anything like that, you're going to get some information from all these people. So you have to realize whatever you ask for, you get. Ask and you shall receive. Every time I ask for something, God's always provided for me. Everything. because I'm always asking God for more, yeah? And because I ask for God for even more, I have to do more. You understand? I have to do more work in the planet in order to get more. You understand? And the more I do work for God, the more I prosper, the more I grow. But you have to realize every single day is always going to be something that you have to realize. You have to realize your day. You have to realize, how are you actually doing in life? How do you perceive that other people perceive you? Because if you perceive yourself as a bad person, then that's what other people will think of you. You have to realize how you perceive yourself is everything in life. So always perceive yourself as a good person. Always perceive yourself as somebody who's doing much better in life. You understand? You have to work out things in life. You have to work your life out. And when you start working things out for yourself, when you start really helping yourself to grow, that's the best thing for yourself and other people. So you have to be in front of people, you have to grow, you have to help other people to grow, you have to do your content, you understand? You have to understand there's always something to talk about in front of people. There's always some special thing that you can do in life. You just have to find what you're special at. You have to specialize in something. I specialize in life. Yes, and that's just my thing. And now, many people are going to say, oh, but life is a broad topic. Yes, it's a broad topic. I specialize in broad things. I specialize in everything that I can specialize in. And now you have to realize that when I talk about life, I talk about everything as much as possible. I never try to limit myself to, post one post a day on Instagram and then talk about that. You have to realize I talk about everything, but you have to understand also that because I talk about everything, that's life, isn't it? When you talk about things, when you are growing yourself as a person, as an individual, you're showcasing everything that you are to the planet, and you're trying to shine. And now you don't have to shine if you don't want to, but it's much better to shine. It's much better to be more in your life. You understand? But you have to always work. You have to work so much. And sometimes you're going to even work for a long time and you're not going to have recognition from people. I understand that already in my life. I've been working in my business for 6 years and I don't gain much recognition for my business. You understand? Even though I do have some recognition from people, I realize although many people don't understand me, they don't understand where I'm coming from. You understand? And now I post all my information online. I give them all these words and music in life. And it's like they don't even care. You understand? But they do care. That's the thing. You have to realize it just feels as though sometimes when you're posting content online, that people are not watching. You understand? But they're watching. Everyone's watching you. You understand? You just have to realize everything's trying to expose you. You understand? Social media today is trying to expose you. If I go on your social media today, I can see exactly who you are. You understand? And that's the thing about social media. You have to realize you have to brand yourself. You have to always be consistent on social media. You have to always post content, even if it's for free. You have to realize that the more work you do in the planet, the more work you're doing it for yourself. You're doing everything for yourself. You're trying to create this image in life. You're trying to give ideas, give lots of ideas in the planet. Show beautiful people, show everything that you can. If you check out my Luscious Models Instagram account, you realize I showcase women, for example. Women that I think are beautiful and women that are giving ideas to me. So I showcase these ideas on social media, on my Luscious Models account. And you have to realize that it's not my real account, but it's part of my accounts. And now you have to realize Luscious Models is like my real account, but my real account is actually Danny Milivojevic, Instagram. Although you have to understand, I've got 5 Instagrams at the moment. And because I have 5 Instagrams, I try to, as much as I can, post content on these social medias. And then I go following people, for example. I go following people just so that I can do something in the planet. So I can make this effect go on. So that people can see one kind of image in life. Or one idea. And because I do this, I feel that I'm somehow making a difference in the world. That somehow people are watching and stuff. But you have to realize every single day, you have to understand that no matter what you're doing, you have to make money on things. You have to make money in life. And when you start making money in life about everything you do, you have to understand there's so much to talk about. And you have to put it into content. You have to put it into words. And when you start putting into words, when you start doing your work every single day, when you start talking so much words out there in the planet, then you're planning your life. You're doing a lot of things for the world. And because you're doing things for the world comes back around. And you have to understand, whatever you do for the world comes back around for you. You understand? You have to understand, if you do good things in the world, then good things come back. So always try to do good things for the world, but be positive every single day of your life. And always understand that there's always a lot of content to do. You just have to always showcase it. You have to showcase it. You have to, every single day, understand what you need to do in life. You have to open up ideas in the world. You have to showcase this in front of people. And you have to brain yourself in some kind of way. You have to do a lot of work. And because you do a lot of work in the planet, you're always helping yourself to grow. So there's always more to talk about. So you have to realize that's why when you're doing anything in terms of leadership or anything in terms of being a better person or showing yourself in some kind of way, you have to realize everything is always going to help you. Yes, and whatever you do is helping you. Yes, and you're either helping yourself or you're killing yourself. You understand? So you have to choose one or the other. And now I'd rather you help yourself. You understand? Help yourself to understand information, understand more about life, understand what you are doing in life, and realize that somehow people are getting back around to what you're doing. You understand that you're staying consistent online, that you're doing something every single day to help yourself to succeed. That's the amazing thing about life every single day, is when you can do a lot of content for the world. And when you do a lot of content for the world, I realize you never know where you're going to go. But then again, you have to realize that eventually in your life, you have to settle down somewhere. And what I mean by this is you have to live somewhere. You understand? And now you have to call some kind of place home for you. So then once you are at home, then you can start traveling the world. But you always come back to this place to live. You understand? So now you have to realize that also, if you just go around traveling the world, for example, then how are you going to have a boyfriend or girlfriend in life? How are you going to have kids? How are you going to have a wife or husband if you're always traveling the world and doing your passions? You understand? And now you have to realize, you have to prioritize what you need in life. You understand? With yourself. You have to understand also, you have to trade time. And now you have to understand also that what I mean by trading time is, you have to understand, you have to, in a way, trade things. You have to be a tradesman is what I mean, tradesperson. And now, if I ever trade my time, then it's going to be trading time. I realize now, you have to understand something. I never trade my time. You understand? I keep my time for myself. You understand? As much as possible. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, you have to be a tradesperson in some kind of way. You have to understand, you always have to trade services, exchange of services with other people, make sure that people are benefiting themselves, make sure that you're benefiting yourself, but also never try to force anything on people, you understand? And also people, I realize when you start giving them a lot of advice in front of them, I realize if they didn't personally come to your event, they're not interested in your advice. You understand? If they're not coming to you for advice, then they're not interested about your advice. You understand that? And now you have to realize that you can learn a lot from a kid. You understand? But many people think that, oh, what's a kid going to teach me about life? You understand? And now that's a question. You understand? It doesn't mean it's negative, it doesn't mean it's positive. But you have to realize questions are always positive. You understand? And then you have to always understand when you ask a lot of questions, you're always positive. You understand? And you have to understand when you realize that kids and everyone can teach you a lot about life, because the only person that can really teach you is yourself. You understand? I realize no book out there is going to teach you how to talk your own words. You have to talk your own words. I promise you, no book out there has taught me to talk to the... I promise you, no audiobook or no book out there has taught me to talk these words to you. You understand? I've taught myself to talk to you about this. You understand? I have spoken my own words in this audio program to be able to showcase these skills to you. And now you have to realize no book out there has taught me to do this. I've just done it myself. You understand? I promise you, no book out there is going to teach you how for you to talk your own words. You have to talk your own words, the same way I'm talking my own words over here in this audio program with you. In a sense, so you have to realize, if you go out just reading content, for example, I promise you, many people are trying to find themselves to make events around people. You know, and that's where they're trying to go. I promise you, all of people in this life are trying to make events around people. Now, some people are slower than others. You understand? And then you have to realize, I'm not saying to go fast. I'm also saying that you have to live a slow life. But you have to realize also that things in life, when you start understanding everything about what's going on in life, you understand that the most updated information about life is the words that are coming out of your mouth. You have to realize this. And now you have to understand that when you start speaking your own words, you're going to be much more updated about life. You're going to be much more updated about what's going on around the world. Because you have to realize that the only words that matter in life is your words. Your words is the only thing that matters in this life. You understand? When you can speak your words into the planet, I promise you, this can showcase everything. You can go wherever you want to go. You can do whatever you want to do. You can help yourself in any kind of way. You can open up worlds for yourself. But you have to be willing to do it. Yes, and you have to be willing to make content. You have to make a social media account. You have to make YouTube channel. Yes, and you have to just keep working. Just keep doing a lot of words into just keep doing a lot of words into the planet. And the more words you do in the planet, the better for you. You understand? And just never go back on your words. You understand? Never go back on what you say. When you say something, you do it. You understand? So if you say to yourself, oh, today I'll go to the shops, today I'll groom myself, I'll have a shower, I'll go to the doctor or whatever, then make sure you do it. Make sure you go and do what you said to do. But don't go saying, oh, I'm going to kill a person today. Yeah, I mean, that's stupid. I never kill people, you understand? So you have to realize, be careful about the words you speak out of your mouth. Make common sense of everything. Don't do bad things in the world, you understand? Don't say things that are going to harm you and other people. You understand? Now, you have to realize, if you speak a lot of negativity in the world, then guess what's going to happen? Lots of negativity will happen in your life. You understand? If you showcase something that might be negative to others, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to try to do negative things to you. Do you understand? So always try to do the better thing. So for example, I'll show you an example. I pointed my middle finger at a nightclub earlier in my life. And you have to realize some people took this the wrong way and they started to cause me drama. And 3 people attacked me before. And you have to realize I took out my selfie stick and I defended myself. You understand? And you have to realize the thing is that they ran away and everything. And you have to understand that these people, they took my middle finger in a way that it was the wrong thing. You understand? They perceived that action as a wrong thing. It's not a wrong thing. I promise you, if you point a middle finger at someone, it doesn't mean it's a wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Especially if you just walked away. You pointed the middle finger at someone and you just walked away. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, that's all it was with me. And now, I promise you, it's not a bad thing, but people can perceive it as bad. You know what I'm saying? Then they can cause you drama. They can cause you drama. And now, never take things the wrong way and never take things from yourself. If you try to take things from other people, you're only taking it away from yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, never seek to take things from anyone. Always seek to give to those people as much as possible. If you see a homeless man on the street and he's got $100 on his inside of his hat, for example, you don't go into the hat and pick up his $100 while he's sleeping. You understand? Because that's his money. You understand? That's just common sense. You have to realize that the thing is, what's for others, you leave for them. You understand? What's for you is going to come to you. You understand? You have to realize not everyone's in my life. You understand? But not everyone has to be in my life. That's the thing. Not everyone is in your life, and not everyone has to be in your life. You understand? So you have to realize you still have to go your own direction. I have to go my own direction. And we all have to live our own direction in life. Everyone's got their own road. But you just go where people treat you better. You understand? For example, I realize, in my life, I've had some people who weren't treating me as good in my life. You understand? So I decided to have a new crowd of friends. And that's that. You understand? I don't want to be around people who talk about me in a negative way, or who perceive me as a bad person, or I don't even want to be around people who want to do drugs with me. You understand? I don't do drugs. You understand? I associate myself with people who want to grow. You understand? And you have to realize, like, for example, in my life, I realize not many people want to grow with me. You understand? Because they think somehow, oh, what's he going to do? What's he going to say? Or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. I don't even know what they're waiting for, because I have a lot of content to give. I have a lot of coaching advice. I have a lot of things going for me in my life. And you have to understand, because I do, I have a lot of talents that I can give to these people. But the thing is, then I realize something. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my time either. You understand? So those people who don't want to grow with me, they don't have to. You understand? I realize if someone doesn't want to grow with you in your life, then you don't have to be with those people. You understand? I only ever want to associate myself with people who want to grow. You understand? Because I'm only ever a grower. I only ever grow in my life. And as much as I grow in my life, I try to do even more content. And the more content I do, the better I understand, the better I do things, the better I live my life. So every single day I understand that no matter what happens, that someday I'm going to have to make events around people. Yes, and because you have to realize that my life is not the 9-to-5 job. You understand? Whatever 9-to-5 job there is in life, it's not my job. You understand? That's not what I do. I don't clean toilets. I don't clean piss. I don't do pickpacking. I don't do van driving. I don't do truck driving. I don't do bus driving. I don't do warehouse work. I don't do construction. I don't do anything in human resources. You understand? You have to realize I do something different. I do life coaching. I do music production. I talk about life, and that's it. You understand? That's all I do. I talk about life. You understand? I talk about everything in life. You understand? Everything that people go through that you can talk about is what I talk about. You understand? So whatever I talk about is anything you can talk about in life is what I talk about. So you can see how much work there is to talk about. You understand? There's so much work I can talk about in this audio program. I can keep this audio program going for 10 hours. You understand? But are you going to listen to it? That's the thing. I realize the thing is you have to realize that no matter how much content I do, I realize I've only got 86 subscribers on my YouTube account. And I realize it's not even growing at a rapid, approaching my YouTube channel is not even growing at a rapid rate right now. You understand? Although it's growing. You understand? And now you have to realize how many people just don't care about all this information. But you have to understand that you have to care to grow. Yes, and you have to every single day do as much as you can for the world. And you have to understand also when you're growing as when you're growing as a human being, you're always going to help yourself to find some kind of direction. You're going to help yourself in some kind of way to live a great life. And when you live a great life, you help yourself to live the best way possible. And because you find the best way possible in life, then you actually study. You're studying in terms of how you do things in life. So sometimes when you talk too much, for example, you have to start engaging the crowd also. You understand? Because when you start engaging the crowd, people will think that, hey, yes, you're for real, and that you are also trying to engage them, and that you also see that they're sitting around listening to you. You understand? So you have to realize that if you just talk on for hours and hours and hours without engaging the crowd, then how does that make you a public speaker? You understand? You have to engage the crowd as well when you're public speaking. You understand? You have to ask them questions. Does anyone have a question? What do you guys think the 5 areas of life are? You understand? Or you have to realize, give me one idea or whatever. You understand? You say to people, for example, you just say, what do you think the first idea of life is? Hands up, please. And it's like people start saying what they think and stuff about ideas and stuff, and you have to realize, how does this relate to you? Well, it relates to you in some kind of way. I see that inside of you got something in you that you want to make something with the crowd somewhere. You know, saying you want to make some kind of dream possible for yourself. You want to create something for yourself. I understand. But the thing is, you have to realize that that time is coming in your life. You understand? When you do all that. And you have to be willing to do it, but you also have to be willing to be in that position where you're actually, now you're good at what you do. You understand? So when you're really at that point, when you're really fascinating yourself right now in terms of how you do everything, then you realize how ready you are. You realize, hey, now's the time to do it. You understand? And then you realize how you go about things. And because you realize how you go about things, you have to realize how you understand what you need to do in life. But then you can engage also people in your audio programs. You don't have to always just keep speaking. You can ask them questions as well. How do you feel about this audio program? Do you think what I'm saying is honest? You understand? So you have to realize that's how it goes. You understand? So every single day you have to realize how it goes in terms of life when you're trying to do a better job for yourself. And when you do try to do something much better for yourself, you realize there's always more to do. You understand? So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this audio program, and I hope to see you guys in my next one.